Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the SimZone. We are at Donington Park once again for the MOZA Racing SimSoc Championship, and I'm joined by Cody. We're going to make this one a bit more of a chilled, laid-back broadcast, but I'm sure there's still going to be some very exciting battling, judging by the times in this qualifying session.
Yeah, it's really close again. So let's see what will happen this race. And thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for joining. We've got Vitboot currently on provisional pole 126.1, almost in the 125s. He's actually slightly up on his time. We've got Campanella P2, just 2/10 back. Senator P3, 2/10 back as well. And Vitboot, they're just invalidating his lap. Looks like Latonen P4 currently, Faulkner P5. So the top five all separated by just half a second. And we will bring up the standings in just a moment. But before we do that, let's have a look who else is up on their time. Faulkner's 4/10 up actually as he rounds the final corner. No, bad exit there. So he's lost about a tenth, but it's probably going to be the front row, almost front row there. It's a P3 for Faulkner as he crosses the line. Craig Lees currently P10, 3/10 up here. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and the next across the line who is on a valid lap is Barth with the Edweiser Porsche. I don't know if he's on a improvement for at the moment.
Let me check. He is 2/10 up, so he's up for an improvement.
And it put him on P11, so one spot gained for him. And he just went down again because Heke moved up to P7.
Yeah, we've got Underpants in the comments saying, come on, Jordan. Jordan is currently P13, sat in the pits at the moment. And well, even though there's not that many drivers, the field isn't too sparse. It's quite close together. And yeah, I think we're going to expect some good battles throughout. Who else is up on a lap here? Prinzi in P8 as he now comes down towards the S's.
And Latonen just improved, with the gap being 5/10 now to the P1.
Yeah, another slight improvement there for Latonen. Let's take a quick look at the standings coming into this round. So Latonen leading the championship actually on 212 points, followed by Campanella on 200. Faulkner in P3 on 198. Vitboot in P4 on 180. Bjorkvist in P5 on 174, tied with Senator in P6 on 174. Then we've got Prinzi and Jordan, P7 and P8, 166 points for Prinzi and 165 points for Jordan. So just 1 point separating those two. Then you've got two more drivers tied on points. Sorry, no, three drivers tied on points. We've got Lees, Hadche and Taste all on 153 points. So that's P9, 10 and 11 in the championship. Then we've got Sullivan, P12 on 135. Followed by Motin in P13 on 132. And to round up the top 14, we've got Brenior on 130.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers finishing their laps now with some drivers' improvement, especially Senatore, who just moved into P2 with the gap only 1/10 of Whitfoot.
Yeah, it's really, really close. Very close. No driver able to make it to the 125s. Just yet, though. They're on the brink of 125. So it looks like Hadche P7's just invalidated his lap there. Barth is 2/10 up. Prinzi 2/10 up once again as he approaches the final corner. What can he do here? Round to final corner now. 4/10 up. This is going to be a brilliant lap here from Prinzi. And there we go. P6 there for Prinzi. And separates a few of the Ferraris there. Most of the grid in this championship are Ferraris. And, well, Van Weasel in P10 in, well, the only McLaren in this championship and on the track at the moment. He's not on the Evo, though. He hasn't had a chance to test it. Obviously, the update came out today. Only a few hours before our our practice session started, so not much time whatsoever for the drivers to test. So Van Wezel is in the old McLaren for this round at least.
And a lot of drivers now coming up, starting one of their final laps. So still, maybe 2 laps if they are quick. So let's hope we get some more improvements here.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, who else is up? Prinzi once again 2/10 up. He really seems to be improving in the last few laps here. 2/10 up as he approaches the final corner. What can he do? This could put him maybe up just 1 position, actually. Look how close it is now between the top 4. Really, really close here. And Prinz is going to cross the line. Still P6 there. Not enough to gain the position. But there we go. The top 7 all within a second of each other. And the top 5, the top 6 all separated by half a second. So really, really close here. And the Porsche's definitely one of the quickest at Donington. So we expect it to be up there. Barth and Bojorkvist very, very close in terms of lap times as well. Van Wezel down in P11, 2/10 up though. Let's see what he can do. Whether he can improve. And 2/10 up is possibly going to put him around P9 or P10. He needs to find another 10th if he wants to break that 1 second mark. But I don't think he is. He's just lost even more time there going through Coppice. And he's lost the car there. We've got another car off onto the grass as well. And that looks like it's it for Van Wezel. Campanella 1/10 up on this lap. Faulkner a 10th up. Latonen a 10th up as well.
And Faulkner just finished, but didn't improve his lap time.
No, he didn't. He was 500ths off of exactly 500ths off of his best. So no improvements there from him. But Campanella's a 10th up. This could be interesting here for Campanella. Campanella and Latonen were saying they didn't feel like they had enough pace here at Donington. And no, he's just invalidated his lap. There we go. So that's Campanella's qualifying session over. No one else up for an improvement. So that is it for this quali session. We've got Fitbit P1, Senator P2, and Campanella P3. We'll be back in just a moment for the start of the race. So make sure to stick with us. Right, we're back. We had some issues with the server after the new ACC update, and oh my god, the sun is in my eyes.
Well, I can see.
Yeah, that's some sun going through old hairpin there. Look at that, it's completely orange. So sunset here, it is 7 PM, and I think that sun might get a bit worse for some of the drivers going through the second sector. But as we saw, Vitboot taking pole, Senator P2, Captain P3, and Faulkner P4. So those 4 drivers on the first 2 rows, and let's get a quick grid walk here from one of the drivers out on track. There we go, P1 here, Senator P2, Campanella P3, Faulkner P4, and we've got Zetonen P5, Brinzi P6, Brenior P7, Hatche P8, Barth P9, Bylqvist P10, and that fancy livery there of his Van Weasel P11, Nice P12, Taste P13, Jordan P14, Van Hoorn P15, and Motin P16. So the Aston Martin struggling a bit here at Donington, but we'll be lining up in, we're already lining up in double file here as we approach the final corner. Who's going to get the run into turn 1? Will Vitboot stay ahead, starting on the inside? And look at that sun as they round the final corner. Will Senator try and hang it round the outside? He needs to get a better start here if he wants to try and do that. But we've got a few comments coming in. Timo saying, let's go. Timmy Mertel Motorsport, so he's showing support for Letone, and then off to a good start. Senator off to a good start as well. He's going to try it around the outside there into turn 1, and it's so close between the two, and Senator might have got it done. He has. What a move there into turn 1 round the outside, and well, there we go, now leading the race after turn 1. So not the best start from him. Latonen there trying to go for a move on Campanella, but he's got the rear out all loose here, and that's Prinzy having to slam on the anchors there to avoid him. And now we've got Brenior trying to go side by side. He's going to have the inside air, a bit of contact between the two, and late on the brakes from Brenior, but he luckily made the corner there. But Prinzy in a bit of trouble. Bylqvist right behind there in P8, Barth still in P9, Van Weasel there, P10. Craig Lease has just made a move on Taste, so Taste down into P12. But looks like it's that Van Hoorn trying to break the slipstream. In fact, he's side by side with Jordan. Jordan down a position. No, looks like he's going to get that done. Late on the brakes there from Motin and from Jordan. Motin into the gravel there. He's now back in last place once again, and what has up to Jordan? Looks like he's still ahead, but almost making contact there. Van Hoorn a late move down the inside into the Melbourne chicane. Chicane? That's not a chicane, that's a hairpin. But hasn't come off there well for him, so he slots back into P14, but back to the race leader, Senator, now continuing to open up that gap to Vitboot.
Yeah, and a great start from Senator here, with the gap already being almost 7 tenths at the moment, and Faulkner is just trying to catch up now, with the gap being 3 tenths to Vitboot. So already the top 3 spacing a bit out here, but still a lot of racing, of course, to go with only just 1 lap being done.
Right. 1 second. There we go, that should be okay now. But yeah, we've got Pearl in the comments saying, boss, you need to turn down the orange filter. Apologies if you heard any double audio, that should be sorted out now. I think we need to tell the sun to go away. nah, it looks quite good actually. It's sunset, so it's really low at the moment. And we've got Stroll in the comments and Matheson saying, let's go Motin. Motin with a mistake at the start is now down to P16, but still early doors here. And plenty of time to make back any time lost.
Jordan in P13 going for the move on Taste into the first hairpin there.
Yeah, but Taste has got the inside for the second. Jordan's going to try and hang it around the outside, but he's left Taste with so much room there. He's going to try and maybe go for a better exit, and which he has got, pardon me, and Taste is going to have to go defensive coming up towards turn one. There's no space on the inside there for Jordan. Pulls towards the outside here, and can he go around the outside? I don't think he'll be able to. Taste hangs on very nicely, and back to the race leader we go. In fact, Campanella now with the fastest lap of the race. These five actually, all pulling away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, and Brennial now in P6 with the gap to Letonen being 1.5 seconds already. So, as you said, the top 5 really not running away, but making a gap already.
Yeah, they really are pulling away here, and I think it's going to be like that for a while. Even in qualifying, you saw how close they were, just separated by 2 or 3 tenths. So we've got Jordan now, who's made a bit of a mistake. He's lost 2 positions there. Down into P14 goes Jordan. He's behind Van Hoorn now, and he's got Hatche to deal with behind him. And we saw on Tuesday in the Next Level Racing Championship the S's, or the chicane, causing a lot of trouble for drivers in terms of track limits. We had about 3-4 drivers picking up the drive-through penalty there because of track limits as well, and a few drivers finishing the race on 3 warnings, so it was very, very close and very risky for the drivers towards the end of the race as well. So I think for the drivers today, they're going to be extremely careful going through there. Maybe they might have learned a lesson from watching everyone out on track on Tuesday, but it's still easy to pick up a warning through the S's there.
Yeah, and Jordan wanted to make a move on Tate, but lost two positions because of that. He almost lost the car there, went on the grass, and Van Hoorn just took the place. So great move from him.
Yep, so up it's P14, sorry, is Jordan. He's now looking for a move on Van Hoorn, but Senator, Faulkner, all still very, very close. Letonen dropping back slightly. He did say he didn't feel like he had much pace here, and we got the tyre barrier there, or the track limit tyre bollard in the middle of the circuit there. It's not on the racing line, so it's okay, but we're having to fend off Faulkner now. Faulkner with the fastest lap of the race. He's got some good pace here at Donington. He's done a 126.6 and Whitboot a 126.8, so really good pace, a really good race pace for the drivers so far, especially with how much fuel they've got in the tank.
And Faulkner, of course, drove also on Tuesday, so
yeah, he did. Yeah,
he knows the track already. But let's hope, and I'm gonna knock on wood for him here, that he doesn't get a drive-through penalty as he had like on Tuesday.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? And he had to, well, we had to enter the pit lane twice. Senator now putting a second gap to Whitboot here, and I think that's just because P2, P3 and P4 all battling for position. That's allowing Senator to put away. He's now got back the fastest lap of the race, 126.630, which is 400ths quicker than Faulkner's best lap, which was the previous fastest lap of the race. There's not much separating those two, and Campanella still right in the back of Faulkner. Looks like Letonen maybe slightly catching back up, although very similar lap times from himself and Campanella, 126.8. In fact, Faulkner 126.8 as well. Bitboos were on 126.9. They're losing a bit of time to the cars behind him, and Senator really pulling away now. But I think this lap he's not been able to pull away as much. It's actually come down under a second now, so he's made a bit of a mistake in this final sector. Look at the gap, it's really come down by about 3/10 here as he crosses the line. 126.6 there from Senator. That's still a very quick lap, but for Whitby it was 126.5, so it's reeled him in by quite a bit here.
Yeah, and Whitfoot taking the fastest lap of the race. So a great lap from Whitfoot here. And hopefully for him he can look forward, because the gap behind him is also 6/10 and the gap in front of him is 6/10. So he has a little bit of breathing space, but Campanella is looking very close for an overtake here on Faulkner, with the gap only being 3/10 at the moment.
Yeah, there hasn't really been much chopping and changing of position with the top 4, top 5. Pretty much following each other for now. Remember, these top drivers don't really make many mistakes at all. The only move we really saw from these drivers was Senator going around the outside into turn 1. And we can see Jordan in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, really close to the back of Van Hoorn here. Still unable to get past. So Van Hoorn defending well, but Jordan seems to have a better pace at the moment, just struggling to find a way to get past the Aston Martin of Van Hoorn.
Yeah, and he tried to send it up the inside. It's a hard thing to do. A little bit of contact there on the back of the Aston Martin.
But he's put himself in a bad position as Jordan, because Hooschii is caught right back up, and he's gone a bit deep. No, Van Hoorn's gone deep into the final corner. And are they going to be side by side? They're not. But Van Hoorn's surely going to have to go defensive coming up towards turn 1. No, he doesn't. He sticks to the racing line, and he's confident that Jordan can't make the move into turn 1.
Yeah, and turn 1 is a really hard place to overtake here. There's not a lot of space, and you need to run it wide a bit. Don't run it too wide, because the grass is waiting for you at the outside.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the grass, definitely. You don't want to be going lawn mowing. I mean, the grass doesn't look.
Promising.
Yeah, the grass doesn't look too long, so I think might be taking a bit of grass off.
Yeah, one of the best spots I think to overtake here is coming up in the chicanes, and Witfield is trying for a lunge here on.
It's close. Yeah, and they've both lost time as a result. They're both going to be side by side going up towards the final hairpin here. Goddard's can Senator hold the inside? He can. Whitfield's going to try for a bit of a switchback or focus on a better exit. He's allowed Faulkner, Campanella and Latonin to all catch up once again. Latonin still with that second gap to Campanella, so hasn't been able to really close that gap. But you can see drivers in the background. That looks to be Brenion P6. Is actually slightly reeling in the top 5 here. That last lap from him, 1:26.6.
Yeah, so all this battling isn't good for the top 5, because, as you said, Brenion is catching it.
Yeah, it looks like Van Weasel fending off Taste here. They're side by side going through the craners. This is really brave from both of them. The McLaren bouncing over the curb through the craners, but holds it through old hairpin. Slightly wide though, he's on the grass now. And Tate, not Tate. I think you're Andrew Tate. Taste is going to get past there. Up into P11 he goes. We've got Timo in the comments saying, nice car Timmy, looks like our original cars. Michael Race is saying, good to see you. Saying drop a like, chat. Yep, definitely hit that like button, everyone. Look how close the top 5 are once again. Latonin still not able to close that gap, even though they are battling hard. So lacking a bit of pace here is the championship leader at Donington Park. Maybe hasn't had as much practice coming into this round, but look at this battle, absolutely brilliant. And we are slowly getting into night time here. The sun setting even more.
Well, I'm gonna interrupt you, because Van Hoorn, Jordan and Hooschii are really battling, and again Jordan trying for a move.
Yeah, Motin's involved in this as well, and they've got 2 more cars up ahead of them, so they could actually possibly catch up. I think they are actually catching up. Yeah, they definitely are, and this could be a 6-car battle at the back of the field. I thought we would have had a boring race, to be honest, with this many cars, but this is turning out to be quite a good race so far.
Yeah, and Jordan again trying for a move, and again losing the position, so he got back to 15th now. So unfortunate for him.
Yeah, he's gone backwards here in this race, but I think his best chance probably in the pit stops. It's not that easy to overtake at Donington Park. In fact, Hooschii slightly wide, or slightly deep into the corner there. Looks like That was Jordan looking for a move up the inside, but he's not going to get that one done just yet. And the top 5 still very, very close. So Tonan's caught up now. He's finally got within that second gap to Campanella. Yeah, Campanella's dropped off Faulkner here, and looking down the inside into the final corner. Tries to stick his nose in, putting the pressure on Senator to try and force him into an error here. But Senator completely unfazed, continuing on another lap.
Yeah, and it shows how hard it is to pass on this track. With top drivers not making a lot of mistakes here. You can almost say no mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much faultless so far. But this is where you start to see a few drivers making mistakes, as we say. Senator a bit slightly wide on the exit of Old Hairpin, getting onto the grass.
Yeah, and the sun has completely turned off, it look now, because I don't see any orange anymore, so a lot of drivers will be happy that the orange filter is turned off. And this was still within 3/10, going up to the S's now, to the chicane.
Yeah, going through the chicane now, and it looks to be a good exit for both Senator and Vitwood. And this is now pretty much a 5-car battle towards the back of the field. Taste has checked out slightly, so it's P12 down to P16, all battling for position here. But look at the top 5. We're going to have to get some onboards here. And I definitely can't go away from the split screen, because we're going to miss some action here. Look how close these top 3 are now. Senator, Vitwood and Faulkner are very, very close. They're actually pulling away now from Campanella and Latonen, who are in a bit of a battle of their own. And looks like, that's Van Hoorn looking for a move. No, Van Weasel got past Van Hoorn there. So Van Weasel up into P12, Van Hoorn down into P13. Well, they just chopped and changed positions for a split second there.
Yeah, I believe Van Hoorn was attacking on Van Weasel. So Van Hoorn is still very close here with the gap. On our timing screen it's 3/10, but Van Weasel is a bit wide there on the grass. Like you said earlier, not a good spot to be.
No, was that wide out of turn 1?
Yeah, turn 1 it was.
Yeah, Redgate. We saw you doing that on Tuesday. It is very easy. We saw many drivers doing that, in fact. And it's that Latonen and Campanella side by side. It is actually Latonen's up into P4 now. She's got the overtake done on Campanella. Campanella going backwards now. He had some good pace at the start, but it's been dropping back lap after lap, and that's looks like that's Hooschii wide there through what's it called? Not McLean's, Coppice. Yes, Coppice. And he's lost the position, and looks like Motin looking left and right, trying for a move. Can't get that done.
Oh, but still very close racing, with a lot of cars still within a couple of tenths of each other. And when we look at the front 3 have pulled away like 2.2 seconds here to Latonen. It's now Whitfoot and Faulkner within half a second of Senator.
Yeah, Cascanova, good to see you. Can you still hear double, Cody? Or is it fine now?
Now it's fine.
Yeah, I know what it was. But yeah, still this battle going on strong between the top 2 now. In fact, Faulkner's dropped off slightly. But this battle towards the back of the field still going on as well. In fact, Van Weasel still fending off Van Hoorn, but Taste, look how much he's pulled away now. Just over 2.5 seconds, and looks like that is Jordan trying for a move on Van Hoorn. Is he going to have the inside line? He's going to try and squeeze, and he's got the move done. I think Van Hoorn turned in a bit too early there. I don't think that was Jordan's fault. He had the inside line, and Van Hoorn, I think, tried to defend that, or didn't expect him to get that done. And there's been contact between the top drivers here. Looks like Faulkner now to the race lead. Vitvoet and Senator have made contact. They've dropped down towards P4 and P5. So Campanella and Latonen both get past. And looks this is Brenier looking for a move on Vitvoet, and he's going to get it done here.
Yeah, and Vitvoet giving back the position to Senator, so it's nice to see. Of course, it's not necessary if you make contact to do it, but great sportsmanship from Whitfield here.
Yeah, but he's lost so many positions. He was comfortably in P2 and now down towards P6, but Faulkner being gifted another, well, first position. Obviously the race is not over yet, but he's now got a 3-second lead to Campanella, and he's in clean air. Bit of a mistake from both Brenier and Vitboot on the exit of Old Hairpin. We've seen so many drivers making mistakes there, and on the exit of turn 1 we can see Jordan running slightly wide as well. The grass and gravel absolutely everywhere, so no room for error on this track. Not as much room for error compared to other tracks. I think Brands Hatch is slightly worse than this.
Yeah, and I just saw Hatcher really dropping back the field. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, down at P16 now. Looks like Senator's got a good, Vitboot's got a good exit on Brenier. He's going to look for it and move down the inside into the Melbourne hairpin, sends it up the inside, and well, he's going to have that position back.
Yeah, and I just have seen what happened to Hatcher here. He wanted to overtake Van Hoorn into the ashes, and he just missed his braking point, and he went straight on.
Oh god! So he didn't make contact though, did he?
Nope.
So
no contact.
Yeah, so just lost some time by braking a bit too late then. Prinzi now on the back of Brenier, P6 and P7. So after that, those shenanigans into the final couple of hairpins, Prinzi has been able to catch up as well. We will bring up a replay of what exactly happened to the top 5 in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, now Faulkner is having a gap now of 2.2 seconds already. Of course, he was gifted the first place here, and he has some pace, but Campanella is catching him by 2 tenths in the last sector, and even Leitonen is 7 tenths back to Campanella. So it's still very close, and the pit window just opened.
Yeah, we've got a replay up now of what happened here. So going to the Melbourne hairpin, I believe it was on the exit. These two leaders made contact. You can see there, bit of a poor exit there from Senator, and contact between the two. Senator, trying to rejoin there as well, actually making contact with Leitonen. And there you can see Whitboot returning the position. It was a bit of a difficult one actually, but I think Whitboot doing the right thing. Good sportsmanship there, even between the drivers at the front, where it's so competitive. And I think he knew he was in the wrong. But now he's back onto he's onto the back of Senator once again. Jordan now into the pits for a very early pit stop.
Yeah, and also Van Riesel is into the pits.
Oh yeah, both of them in the pits.
So I think they might be trying a sort of undercut here on maybe Van Hoorn, because they were fighting with him quite a lot.
Yeah, they definitely were, and Jordan, we saw, was struggling to get an overtake done. He had the pace to do it, but was really struggling to get past, lacked a bit of consistency while he's trying to find that gap. And Senator with a huge mistake here, Whitboot down the inside into the Melbourne hairpin. Will they keep it clean this time round? I think Whitboot's got this done. In fact, no, he goes deep. Senator's going to go for the switchback. They're so close on the exit here, but I think if Whitboot can hold the inside line coming up towards the final corner, he should have this one sealed. And yes, there we go, up into P4 goes Whitboot. That is done and dusted. And now these two, I think they'll be trying to catch back up to Leitonen. That's Van Riesel out of the pits now. He would have to move, he would have to give way to the lead cars behind him. I believe that's Brenier and Prinzi behind him now.
Yeah, and Van Hoorn and Motin are in a fight for P12 at the moment, so this won't help them. Because of course when they make the stop, they will have lost some time here by battling.
Yeah, we can see them in the bottom right hand corner on board with Motin there. Van Riesel moving well out the way. Let's go back to Prinzi, who's still sticking with Brenier the last lap. From Prinzi was 3/10 quicker. Looks like Motin losing a bit of time now to Van Hoorn.
Yeah, the gap being a second, so possibly a mistake there from Motin.
Yeah, he's just made another mistake there, bouncing over the exit curb, getting the rear out ever so slightly as well. And let's see, the gap's spaced out a bit now into this race. Prinzi is sort of losing some time to Brenier. We've got Campanella now into the pits. Interesting that he's gone for an early pit stop. Maybe his tyres not the correct pressure. We did see him dropping back in terms of pace as well. And Senator now into the pits too. So Faulkner, Letonen and Whitwood keeping out on track here.
Yeah, they're definitely going longer, and I think they will pit somewhere around the halfway mark, because then you have the freshest tires at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
So different strategy. Oh, and car 41 is off. That's Van Weasel.
He's off the track.
21.
Oh, yeah, he's facing the wrong way. Maybe a bit wide there. I think he may have caught the grass a bit too hard. Oh, look at the damage he's got on the front. How did he pick that up? There's been no contact on my feed. Let's have a look if we can see what happened.
I did a quick replay check already, and he lost it on his own, and he smashed into the wall, I believe.
Into the wall? Oh. Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, you are right there. Bit of a shame for Van Weasel. Let's go back to Prinzi and Brenier. There you can see Van Weasel coming up towards turn 1. I think maybe got a bit, was it a bit too wide? Let's have a look. So into turn 1, gets the apex nicely. Gets onto the grass, yep, that spits him out, and a huge snap of oversteer. Gravel is not enough to slow him down, and into the wall. That's where he catches all that damage. And there we go. So we got Brenier now into the pits for his mandatory stop. Faulkner still leading the race now, still with that 3.1 second lead to Letonen. And Faulkner's definitely got some good pace here at Donington. I think he's found some more pace as the season has gone on. And he's really gelled with this Ferrari.
And the Ferrari, of course, being nerfed a bit with like 2 updates ago. But still, it should be a very easy car to drive, as everyone's saying at the moment.
Yeah.
That's why we have so many Ferraris in our league. I think it is a different season.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Russell Matheson saying Motin fighting his way through. Go Team Hex. Scott, good to see you as well. But yeah, I think, well, our season started pretty much as soon as 1.9 came out. Oh, that's tasting the pits with heavy damage on the front. I've just seen. But yeah, our season started just as 1.9 came out, so the 5 was ridiculously fast then. It definitely did need a bit of a nerf. So it's still quite a quick car, but I think it does lack in some circuits, and it's down to the driver, in my opinion, because the Porsche and the Lamborghini are equally fast cars. The Lamborghini pretty much up there now after the last couple of updates, and the Porsche is still a very, very quick car as well. I mean, we've seen in the IMB Championship, we've seen Tarek Adam completely blitzing the field. No Ferrari able to keep up with him. So it is also down to the driver as well. And who's that onto the gravel? Was that
Jordan?
Jordan? Yeah. He's obviously served his pit stop here. Faulkner still yet to pit. In fact, the top 10 still yet to pit. And we are pretty much into the dark here. Still not really dark outside, but headlights have come on. And I think for me, personally, this is my favourite time of day. Like, this sort of lighting is
And Latona now in the pits
Yep.
from P2. He has some damage on the front. I think that's still when the incident between Whitfield and Senator happened. He couldn't
Yeah.
move anywhere. So.
Yeah, that would be to the Melbourne hairpin. This way would have picked that up, but I don't think it did too much in terms of his lap times. He was still sticking with. He was P2, wasn't he? So he's still sticking with Faulkner. The gap is about 3 seconds or so. Oh, he's P3. But of course, Campanella has pitted. So where will Latonen come out in comparison to Campanella? Campanella's coming up towards the final hairpin. Latonen hasn't got going just yet. He's been dropped off the jacks. Now he's going. Where is Campanella exiting the final corner? I think Campanella might just have him here. Oh, it's going to be very close, actually. Off the limiter goes Latonen. No, Latonen's... Oh, it was quite close, actually, but Latonen's just managed to stay ahead. And I think he's got the move done in the pit stops. I think Campanella was Campanella ahead? No, Campanella wasn't ahead.
No, he wasn't ahead, and Laytonen didn't fix the amount of damage he had, so it wasn't really hindering him. But look how close Campanella is at the moment. The gap on my time she's saying 3/10, but it looks so much closer. If we put now in the pit.
Latonen still hasn't repaired that damage. Well, hasn't repaired that damage in the pits, so he's kept it out. He's got front splitter damage though, so it's not really going to help with turning. Frenzy all in the pits now. Campanella sticking to the back of Latonen and looking for a move now. I'm not sure if he's going to try just yet. Still halfway into the race, so still halfway left. Let's go on board here with Campanella. We've got Nicky in the comments. Good to see you. It's been a while.
And Laytonen going a bit deep here. Campanella trying to use that line here, but Laytonen just taking it in front. Campanella right on the back of the Ferrari, and Whitfield coming out behind him.
Yeah, I think he was behind them after the incident, but he's gained a bit of time after the pit stops, and he's really caught up here. Campanella looking for a bit of a move through the cranes down towards Old Hairpin, but can't find a way past. Very narrow section of the track, very fast paced as well here through sector 2. These two battling is going to allow Whitfield to catch back up. Senator, though, down in P9 is almost 4 seconds back to Whitfield, so he's lost heaps of time here. It'd be interesting to see where Faulkner is in comparison once he pits, but we've still got the top 5 yet to serve their mandatory pit stops. That means we're back out on track. Motin now into the pits. Biographer's in the pits. Barth in as well.
Well, it's always like this. Everyone pits at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much halfway mark is what drivers fuel for, isn't it? So they want to get even wear or make use of their tyres in both stints. So halfway mark is usually the best to go, unless you go for a really long strategy. You overfuel in the first stint. I think that's
like
only. What's that?
Faulkner is doing that at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, he's
still out.
Probably got the fuel to do so. I think he might be in the pits this lap or the next. But I mean, if you start at the front, the best strategy is to just go as long as possible, stay out in clean air as long as possible, and then once you start encountering some traffic, some back markers in those that have already served their pit stops, then it'll be time to pull the trigger. And Latonen with a poor exit there through Old Hairpin, it's going to hinder him all the way up the hill, and it has done. And Campanella eyeing up for a move here, going up towards what's the corner name again? Copies, and he's not been able to get that one done. Latonen holds it there. And going down towards the S's. Whitfield is now closed back up. This is a good battle here for the final podium position, in fact. I believe Latonen is going to be in P2 once the top 2 have pitted, and Faulkner in P1.
Yeah, so it's for P2 and P3, I believe then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So two podium spaces available. Whoever finishes behind, it's going to be a bit left out. Senator at the moment is not going to be finishing on the podium if he stays where he is. That's a brilliant battling so far. And Hooschii now into the pits. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, that was exactly my line. You stole my line. Thank you very much.
I can read your mind at the moment. Jordan right on the back of, who's he on the back of? That is Lees. He's caught up to now. But Jordan, after the pits, he's got ahead of Van Hoorn. Van Hoorn's down at P13, 11 seconds back to Jordan.
No, I don't know what happened to Van Hoorn, but he's kind of driving in no man's land at the moment. So, unfortunate for him, maybe he made a mistake somewhere or had a bad pit stop, but unfortunate, and he might just come up behind. No, in front of Hooschii, but Hooschii. Is he battling with him?
Yeah, he is. Van Hoorn's come out just ahead. And Taste, yellow flags for Taste there. Looks like he's lost the car once more. He's down in P15 now, so he's had heavy damage. He's had to repair that. And is Jordan going to go for a move on Lees? Looks like Van Hoorn's still ahead of Hooschii. Jordan right on the back of him at the moment, trying to get past. But let's go back to this battle. Where is Faulkner? That's not the right camera angle. It's cameraman.
Double to Jax, and he's going now. So Faulkner with a healthy lead, going out of the pits.
It is actually. It's quite a decent gap. He's exiting turn 1 now. Letonen's still, it's still that 3-second gap really. So neither driver has gained nor lost too much. I think the gap before they pitted was about 3.1, 3.2. So he's lost about half a second, let's say, has Letonen in the pits. But of course, he's now battling with Campanella, and we've still got Jordan on the back of Alicia, not able to get past just yet. On board now there with Jordan. Let's bring up our split screen here. But Jordan really seems to struggle to get past on this track. It looks like Taste moving out the way there for the lead cars, and Faulkner being pretty much gifted another win here. His only trouble at the moment now, I think, is track limits. And I say that, and he's just picked up, I think, a warning. He's invalidated his lap there through the S's. So I hope that wasn't a commentator's curse.
Yeah, and of course you don't know what's going to happen, but the best place for Jordan to overtake us and for Campanella in this case is the hairpins. I tried it on Tuesday myself. If you're close enough, you can kind of send it there. And of course, you need to hope for a bit of space from the driver that you want to overtake. But Jordan is really close and had a better exit than Lees going to the outside.
Very early on the brakes there from Lees, and no, actually he's overshot the corner somehow, so I think he let off the brakes slightly, and they're side by side now. We go to track side for these two. Lees has got the inside coming up towards the final corner. I think he's going to be a bit late on the brakes. In fact, Jordan's going to try it around the outside. No, he switches to a switchback, still side by side, coming up towards turn 1, and that's Jordan trying to get the slipstream. Look how defensive Lees is going here, coming up towards turn 1, and still side by side. Looks like Jordan's backed out of that move.
Yeah, but some clean racing, and Lees going a bit on the grass again, so that will allow Jordan to catch up a little bit, going up to the next corner. It's so close between the two, and Jordan again making a mistake going on the grass, but still hanging on to the back of Lee's car.
Yeah, he's done well. Lees making a few mistakes here and there. He's made another going up towards Coppice. Now Jordan's going to possibly try and go for a switchback. Brilliant corner for a switchback here. He's got the inside line, but no, not enough exit speed. And you can see P2, 3 and 4 still battling for position. They're slowly reeling in Faulkner here. Maybe Faulkner having to navigate his way through some traffic. That gap's come down to 2.6 seconds. In fact, that last lap, he was 1:27.4, and Letonen's 1:26.7. Exactly, well, not exactly, but about around 7/10 slower.
Yeah, so the gap would come down to 2.5 seconds. I think Faulkner is maybe driving with some less risk because he maybe has some track warnings. And you know how it feels to have a drive-through penalty over here. And let's hope he doesn't get one today.
Yeah, now it's pretty much a bit of a stalemate going on between these two battles. Not Jordan is struggling to get past Lease. Not really any position losses or gains between Latonen, Campanella or Whitvoot, but 20 minutes left to go. God, it feels like been ages in this race already. But if they can keep at the pace and catch up to Faulkner, this is possibly going to be a 4-car battle for the lead, and then we could start to see even more position changes. I think that might be what they're trying to aim for. Maybe not battling as much because they can see Faulkner just heading down in towards turn 1 now.
Yeah, and I think but if these drivers get closer to each other, I think the race will be even harder. So maybe more mistakes and more action for us to enjoy.
Yeah, hopefully. Jordan losing a bit of time now to Lease. Seems to.
Oh, and Campanella almost lost it. He's fully on the
mistake.
ground.
And that's going to get Whitvoot the run here, but he's not going to have the line to get past. Look at the speed. He's got his glued to that rear bumper of the Ferrari ahead of him. Is he going to look for a move up towards Copies? No, he's not. He's going to break a bit earlier and focus on the exit here. Someone, I think, tipping the grass on the inside as well. I know Jordan making a slight mistake going through turn 1.
And this battling is very good for Latonen because Latonen is creating a gap here to Campanella, with the gap now being 1.1 seconds. So Campanella and Whitvoot battling is losing them time.
Yeah, definitely losing them time, and they might even lose Latonen here. He's already pulling away, like you said. If they lose him, I don't think there's going to be much chance of catching back up to him. He's lapping pretty much same times as Faulkner at the moment. Gap still 2.8 between P1 and P2. But P3 and P4, Campanella and Whitvoot both in the 127s. They're losing time. And they might be saying goodbye here to Latonen. And Campanella really pushing the car now, trying to close that gap up once again.
Yeah, not an easy thing to do when you have Whitvoot glued on your rear bumper. But Whitvoot going a bit wide on the grass again. So a lot of these drivers going for the grass here. So maybe to see some spots of grass they want to mow.
Yeah. Some tall grass, I think that was left out by the
grind crew.
Track maintenance, or what do you call someone who cuts grass? Grass cutter?
Grass mower, mower, Mr. Mower.
Because the lawnmowers used to cut grass, right? But what do you call a person that actually cuts the grass?
Maybe Lord Peros knows, because knowing him, he mows a lot of grass.
Yeah, he's an avid farming sim enthusiast, or whatever you want to call them. Is that Van Weasel into the pits? No, he's just moving out the way there. But they're still very close. Campanella and Whitvoot, they're losing even more time though, both wide on the exit of Redgate. They're losing even more time to Latonen now. Latonen, they're not able to close the gap to Faulkner. It's still 2.8 seconds. They're lapping so evenly here. I think it's all down to now whoever makes a mistake, or, well, if they make a mistake, it'll be quite an inconsistent lap. I think consistency is what matters here. And oh my god, Campanella and Whitvoot both bouncing over the curbs once again, using even more time now to Latonen.
Yeah, and they like the bouncing. As long as they're not bouncing off each other, I think it's all fine. And looking on the inside of the S's, and not really a place to overtake.
Yeah, it's not an overtaking place really, those S's. I mean, if you're going to overtake, I think it's going to be done on the exit rather than the entry. Side by side on the entry pretty much means someone's going to be cutting the track. Looks like Jordan still 8/10 behind Lees, slowly creeping back up on him, but was struggling after he made a bit of a mistake. In terms of lap time as well, even though he was 3/10 quicker that last lap, he seems to catch up, then lose all that time he gained. A bit of inconsistency there for Jordan.
Yeah, and who's been really consistent is in P9 on Barth. Started also in P9, but didn't have a lot of action.
Oh, no, there is action. Prinzi just got past Brenier. Prinzi up into P6. Brenier's made a bit of a mistake somewhere out on track. What on earth has happened here to Brenier? He had quite a big gap to Prinzi, I believe.
Yeah, so maybe he made a mistake. Let me check for a second and I'll come back to you.
Yeah, do have a look and then we'll bring a replay up of it as well. So I can't seem to find... Oh no, I've just found it, but I'll let you find it as well. Yeah, it's still on the back of Campanella. No position changes between those two. Jordan's now right on the back of Lees here, putting on the pressure once again to Lees, but will he make a mistake himself this time, or can he stick to the back of that 831 Ferrari? He looks even closer than he was before here, really putting on the pressure now. There's nothing separating these two, although on the exit, at least with a better exit speed there. Jordan having to contain himself a bit in order to not make contact.
And I just saw what happened to Brenier here. He lost it on turn 1, went wide, had a tank slapper, kept it on the track, luckily for him. But of course, Prinzi going past.
Yeah, you can see now Brenier into turn 1. Yeah, he got it on the grass, and then, yeah, massive tank slapper on the exit. Oh, luckily the grass, I think the grass on the exit actually, wow, the grass on either side helped him after he lost it initially. And it looks like Jordan looking for a move into the old hairpin, doesn't go for it though, and he's wide onto the grass. And he's going to lose that that exit speed. It's uphill from the old hairpin, isn't it? So you need to have a good exit there whenever it's uphill, because if you get a bad exit, you're going to lose even more time by the time you reach the next corner. But looks like Lees making a bit of a mistake through copies, and Jordan's caught right back up here. Looks like Hatche's got past Van Hoorn. What's happened to Van Hoorn? Oh, yellow flags for Van Hoorn. He was facing the wrong way, I think. But down into P13 he goes. What happened there?
Well, I go and spy if I can find anything again.
Yeah. And oh, Whitford with a huge mistake there on the exit of the old hairpin onto the grass. But luckily kept the car pointing in the right direction. The top two still with that 2.8 second gap, not closing in or pulling away from one another.
Oh, and I just saw what happened to Van Hoorn. Unfortunate, but he's lost it on his own going onto the grass.
Was it the old hairpin?
No, it was the corner after, just before the straight, before the S's, I believe it was.
Ah.
Alright.
So, turn 5, 6 and 7. So, Starkey's bridge and then McLean's afterwards as well.
Yeah, I think this was... Also, yeah, no, it's even before that. It was turn 1.
Oh, turn 1?
I think it was turn 1.
God.
I just
We've seen
pressed the wrong button again.
Quite a few drivers drop it on the exit of turn 1. They're just dipping a wheel onto the grass. As you know, grass nowhere near as grippy as the...
and Hatche just made a mistake.
Oh,
So Van Hoorn is back past again.
oh wow. I'm actually down a second and a half now, down 2 seconds here. So Van Hoorn, like you said, back up again. We're already watching 2 battles here, so I couldn't catch that in time. That was quite unexpected. Maybe, where did Hadjay lose it? Was it turn 1 again?
No, it was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Turn 4.
I think it was.
Turn
Yes.
4 was old hairpin. So down the
Yes.
craners.
Yeah, you go downwards and then you have the swooping bit and then you go right.
Yeah, that's the old hairpin. Seen that. Turn 1 and the old hairpin, probably some of the most difficult corners on the circuit.
Yeah, but the mistakes of Van Hoorn and Hadjay.
Oh no, sorry to interrupt, with a send down the inside here on Campanella, still side by side. And who's going to come out in front? It looks like that's still
Campanella.
Campanella, yeah. He's got back past, but it was a brave move there from Whitford, but he needs to keep going for things like that to try and force Campanella into a mistake, because that pressure is going to constantly build up as that time ticks there. We're almost into the final 10 minutes of the race. So Whitford keeps showing his nose up the inside and putting the pressure on Campanella, could force him into an error. Eventually, find a chink in the armour of Campanella here.
And Faulkner is still in P1. The gap is being stable on 2.5 seconds here. With Leitonen being in P2, with the gap being 2.4 seconds. So not really much danger here for Leitonen to watch out for.
Yeah, I mean, if P1, I mean, any of these drivers make a mistake, they're going to be dropping right down the order. Because, I mean, top 4 still very close. It's not that much, even at the end of the race, separating them. We've got Bob Proctor in the comments saying Farming Simulator is the best. Since you're a Farming Simulator expert, tell us, what was the question? What do you call someone?
Mower man.
Yeah, whoever, people who cut grass. What do you call them?
In Shrek they have the Muffin Man, but we got a Mower Man.
The mower man? I don't know actually. I'm tempted to Google it myself, but you know, knowing me, knowing us, as soon as I flick away from something, action starts happening. In fact, speaking of action, oops, we've got Jordan on the back of Elise once again. Where is Jordan? Here we go. 3/10 separating these two. This battle has been ongoing since pretty much the pit stops. Jordan's been unable to get past Elise, putting up a good defensive fight. Down towards Redgate they go. Jordan later on the brakes, but getting the rear out slightly. And Elise putting away now through the craners. Oh, taking a bit too much curb there. Car bouncing ever so slightly into the old hairpin. Oh, he's overshot the corner slightly there. And Jordan's got a much better exit through old hairpin. And look at the run he's got going up the hill here. Towards McLean's and up towards Coppice now. We've got Manuel Novak saying good evening. Good evening to you as well. And once again, a slight mistake there from Lise. And oh my god, it's so close between the two.
So close between these drivers at the moment. And both not holding back.
On the back of Campanella, but we have to watch this battle first. They are side by side now. And can't really see what's going on trackside. We have to go for these two, and looks like Lisa's going to hold on still. Yes, he will. Jordan's. Oh, actually, are they side by side here? Surely
Yeah, they
not.
are, and,
they
and
are.
Jordan has the inside.
Oh,
and Jordan backs out of it again, but Lee's going wide and on the grass, so he will definitely lose the position here.
Yeah, there we go. That is Jordan finally getting past Lee's put up one hell of a fight, but that action of Jordan showing his nose up the inside there, I think put a bit of fear into Lees. He was focusing on the yellow Ferrari behind him. Now we've got Whitfoot and Campanella side by side into the Melbourne hairpin, but still trying to get past. He tried to move here a few laps ago, wasn't successful, and doesn't look like he's going to be successful this time around either.
Yeah, and another close battle for P12 here with Hooschii going around the outside of turn 1 of Van Hoorn.
Yeah, Van Hoorn's made another error.
Yeah, and Hooschii bumping the rear of Van Hoorn again. So, but they need to move out of the way because Faulkner and Leitonen are coming on the back of him.
Yeah, they are. That could disrupt their battle, or that could allow.
Open up the battle.
Yeah, or it could allow Leitonen to catch up to Faulkner.
Yeah, and we finally got a name for someone who cuts grass. It's got a lawn care technician.
Okay, that's a fancy name for it. What did you say earlier, Cody?
I'll say it's the Mower Man.
Mower Man, yeah. I think Mower Man's got a bit of a
ring to it.
Ring to it, yeah. It's got a nicer name to it. A Mower Man. Anyways, back to the racing. You can see they're going through Melbourne hairpin. You've got Van Hoorn and Hooschii. They're now going up towards the final corner, Goddard's.
A drive-through penalty for Senator. So
oh no, that's track limits there. Oh, he's going to have to serve that. I think he's going to drop down to possibly P8, maybe, or P7, possibly P8. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so unfortunate for Senator. With only 5 minutes to go, we saw last Tuesday before Faulkner. Also in the last couple of minutes, it wasn't Faulkner, it was Tobin.
Yeah.
We had it in the last couple of minutes, and now it's Senator's turn here. So a bit unfortunate for him.
Yeah, now Faulkner's caught up to the back of these back markers. Going to have to try and get past as soon as possible. In fact, there we go. Hooschii doing it early. So no time lost. Yeah, Van Hoorn's got plenty of time to do it down. I don't think he will do it down the straight, actually. Faulkner's not that close, and I think if Van Hoorn were to do it, which he hasn't, if he were to do it down that straight, it's a huge risk of letting Hooschii pass. He's going to do it now there, perfectly timed there from Van Hoorn. He stays ahead of Hooschii, so not really any time lost for Faulkner. I think it's not going to be much time lost for Leitonen either, but he's got past, is that Motin? Motin there.
Yeah, it is. Oh, this is a Campanella going at it here.
Yeah, still. God, and Lees and Jordan. Lees is still on the back of Jordan, even after Jordan made that overtake. There is non-stop action here on track at the moment. Who do we look at? Who's that in the pits now?
Campanella for Senator, yeah.
Right, surely going to have to get this battle back up between Jordan and Lees. There we go. Lees trying for a move. Now he's got a good exit through the S's. He's going to make a move. He looks towards the inside for the Melbourne hairpin. In fact, he's going to go for it, but surely he's overshot the corner. Yes, he has. And good attempt there from him. But Jordan saw that one coming and got the switchback done. Textbook move there from him.
And I accidentally changed the camera and I cannot change it back, so...
F3.
Ah, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
That's better.
It's still in the back of Campanella. He's over him at it for a while now. They were on the back of Leitonen. They've lost 3 seconds by continuously battling here. Bitbridge has been struggling to get past Campanella. They've got Motin in front of them. Oh, is that slightly wide there from Campanella through the final corner? I think he missed the apex ever so slightly. And oh, Lisa's past Jordan.
Again, so Jordan needs to do all his hard work again, with only like 2 or 3 laps to go. I think 2 laps to go actually. So not a lot of time here for Lees to go on any moves at the moment, with the gap being 6 tenths, 4 tenths. So still a big gap, but Lees made a mistake here, so better exit for Jordan to be close to right, and he's doing a send down the inside. Very close driving here, no contact made, but Lee's having the better exit. Both drivers going for the inside, but Lees hangs on to the position.
Yeah, but it's gone slightly wide through the final corner, and is that gonna? Nope. So is Jordan. We will bring up a replay now of that overtake of Lees on Jordan. We didn't actually catch that one. So here we go. So going down towards the crane is perfectly fine. There's a decent sized gap by about a second between these two. Jordan just makes a slight error. So into the braking zone there, on the curb, gets to rear out slightly, ends up wide. And there we go. His exit speed compromised, and Lees flies past as if Jordan's not even moving. Here we go.
Yeah, on the final lap now. So,
Yep.
Faulkner having a gap of 5 seconds to Leitonen. And I think... Oh no, it's Van Hoorn behind Leitonen. I was already thinking he made a mistake, but Lidfoot's still with him. And 3 tenths here of Campanella going for the final podium position here.
And look who else is really close. Van Hoorn and Hooschii still battling for a position. They are extremely close. And Hooschie's really trying to get past. Unable to do so at the moment. Where is Faulkner? Coming through the S's now.
Yeah, and Van Hoorn and Hooschii just behind Faulkner. So that would be really good for Van Hoorn, because he's hoping that race will end as soon as possible so he can stop defending.
Yeah, exactly. And this will be the last lap for them. For Lees and Jordan, they're going to have to go for another lap. And there we go, Faulkner crossing the line, P1. What a race there from him. Unbelievable pace there from Faulkner. You can tell he's really happy with that one. Leitonen P2, Campanella P3, Vitboot P4, Van Hoorn and Hooschii finishing in P12, 13, and Motin in P14. Who else have we got crossing the line here? We've got Prinzi P5. He's going to round the final corner.
And Brannio P6. So also good finishing position for him there.
Yeah,
Senator P7. He lost, of course, a couple of positions due to his drive-through penalty. Unfortunate for him, but still P7. Bjorkvist P8.
Yeah, Barth P9, Jordan P10, and Lees probably going to finish in P11 as they approach the final corner. But we'll see if we can get some interviews here from the drivers, so make sure to stick with us. Okay then. So for interviews, we are going to interview first Campanella. Here we go, Campanella qualifying P3, finishing P3. Decent result there from you. We saw you were struggling for pace in the first stint. You were catching up to the drivers ahead, then losing some time afterwards. And you made, I believe, an early pit stop as well. So was it tire pressures, or what do you think went wrong there?
Hello to everyone. I think the problem was most on the setup and my driving with that setup. I probably used too much tires in the first laps, made some corners in the wrong way, wrong line that put me in a bit of a oversteer moment, and maybe I used a bit too much tire in that occasions. But I really struggled for pace even at the end because I couldn't catch up to Letonen, and I was under attack from the guy behind, so I really was struggling generally on race pace.
Still a podium though, so it's probably. I mean, I know you and Letonen said you weren't feeling confident going into this round in terms of pace, anyways. So still a podium, and next round we've got Zandvoort. Haven't been to that track in a while, so how are you feeling going into there? Need more practice?
Yeah, I definitely have to practice a bit more on the race pace, and I have to practice also in the tire wear because I want to fix all those issues I got today, and I hope next round I can be on level for the win.
Yeah, I mean, you had the pace. The highway was an issue. Yeah, hopefully you can get that sorted out for next round. Still, congratulations on the podium. See you at Zandvoort.
Thank you, bye bye.
Thanks. Okay, who else have we got to interview? So we got Barth in the comments saying a P9. Yes, he's happy with that one. We've got, let's bring in Letonen here. Here we go. We've got Timmy Letonen. Started P5 in the race, actually, I believe. Yeah, P5 ended up in P2, so a good result there. Obviously, I don't think you were too happy with your qualifying position, considering you are leading the championship. But P2, not too bad. You got gifted a few positions with the contact between Bitboot and Senator, I think it was. Yeah, towards the end, it was pretty much just keeping the car on the track, really. I don't think Faulkner was pulling away from you too much. You weren't really catching him either.
Yeah, I mean, the quali pace was quite awful for me. I don't know why. I mean, it felt quite good, but it wasn't, obviously. And then, yeah, for the race start, I was really unhappy, and I knew that I need to push in the start to gain, if I want to gain any positions, and then I couldn't. So, yeah, I was really unhappy, but then there was the accident. Yeah, gave me a few positions and some damage because the guy who had the accident wasn't still, and then I had small contact. But nonetheless, it was a fun race, really eventful for me. And after the pits, I was even catching Faulkner a bit, but then at like 45-minute mark, I had 3 warnings, and I couldn't push anymore. And yeah, that was just trying to survive to the end of the race from that on.
Yeah, it's so easy to pick up a drive through here. We saw Senator do it as well, and definitely didn't want to be one of those to pick up a drive through. But yeah, P2 still good points, and I think you're still leading the championship going into next round. Yeah, I believe you are. Next round being Zandvoort. How are you feeling?
I've raced there once. It was 2 years ago, so I have no idea how it's gonna go, but we'll see. I hope it's better than today. I mean, the result was good, but the pace wasn't. So
I think tyre wear might be a bit more of an issue there at Zandvoort, possibly.
yeah, but to be honest, today I felt like my pace was a lot better when the tires were quite worn. Like at the beginning of the race, I was falling back a bit, but then Campanella started making mistakes, and I was doing some really good times, and yeah, so maybe that's gonna be my advantage in Zandvoort.
Yeah, I think you can manage the tyres even more, anyways. Yeah, you should be on for a good result, but nevertheless, congrats on P2
Thank you.
after that qualifying position as well. And we will see you next round at Zandvoort.
Yeah, see you then.
Yeah. So we've got we've got one more driver to interview then. We've got Faulkner, who I think is in a bit of a conversation with Campanella there. Let's move him over now. There we go, Faulkner. A win for you here at Donington. You really seem to like this track. Obviously a bit better than Tuesday where you picked up a drive-through. You didn't make that mistake this time. But yeah, good results. Yeah, oh really? Were you on 3 warnings?
I was on the 3rd warning on the penultimate lap.
Oh,
so the last lap I definitely had to take it easy.
Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, P3 in the championship at the moment. I think that's going to put you up a position. You did finish ahead of Campanella. So that's, you've had a P2, a P4, a P2 and a P1. All you need left is a P3, but I think you're only going to be aiming for higher than that, I think.
Definitely, I'm running a good streak so far, so definitely avoiding incidents much as I can. Yeah, qualifying, I was a little disappointed. I probably could have started 3rd or 2nd. But I knew a couple of lessons from what I did on Tuesday. One was to watch out for incidents because the likelihood was very high, and of course we did see that in the at the start. 2 leaders got taking each other out.
Yeah.
And I'd also, as you said earlier, avoid the drive-through penalty. So I only just managed to avoid that.
Yeah, that was very, very close. I think Latonen got caught up in that. Yeah, you took some freebies there, took the lead,
Definitely.
and was able to pull away.
Yeah, definitely. I was a bit surprised because I would have thought a couple of drivers would have been quicker. But also, I noticed well the first stint, the tires were starting to play up a little bit, and there's the back tires were starting to let go early, as early as predicted. So, but I decided to extend my stint because everybody else pitted early. So, but once I got ahead, I knew definitely it was all to lose after that. So that was probably the most crucial bit out of that whole entire race.
Yeah, I mean, you were in clean air pretty much. You let the others battle, go for the longer strategy, which well paid off. It's the right thing to do, and I think your pace improved throughout the season. You've been getting quicker and quicker. I think you're a real threat to the top 2 in the championship. Well, you are 2nd now in the championship after this round, but to the others, you are quite a big threat, I think, and you could be on a good result for the end of the championship.
We'll definitely see. It's still all to play for, so
Yeah, we're only halfway in.
halfway. Oh no!
Yeah.
I wish it was over now.
Yeah, still quite a few rounds to go. We've got Zandvoort next round. How do you think you'll do there?
Haven't really done much Zandvoort lately. Haven't actually been in a very long time, so I think it's gonna be like Donington for me. It's just gonna be a bit unpredictable. I think the last time I just didn't really have the greatest luck. Although I finished, I think, a decent result last time, but that was like a year back.
It's like no one has raced Zandvoort in a few years.
It's very outdated, that's the problem.
Yeah, no one really races it that much anymore. But for a change, it's good to have it in a championship. And I think qualifying position is going to be really important there because it's so difficult to overtake at Zandvoort.
Well, if there's a move around Donington, then probably Zandvoort may be possible.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah.
If so, well, yeah. Yeah, definitely gonna be worth something to look out for.
Definitely. Anyways, congratulations on the win, and we will see you next round at Zone 4.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Take care. There we go. Cody, you still alive?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here.
But yeah, that was some great racing. Once again, thanks for joining me in
Yes,
in
no.
comms, and yeah, thanks for those who watched, and we will see you tomorrow. Good night. Take care.